What if Palpatine was assassinated just before the rise of the Empire? This gets pretty sad, but it was fun to think about. So let's take a look. The galaxy is in turmoil, teetering on the edge of monumental change. In the grand chambers of the Galactic Senate on Coruscant, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine stands poised to address the gathered senators. His speech, highly anticipated and shrouded in murmurs of drastic political shifts, is about to commence. Palpatine's face, damaged by recent events, holds the gravity that commands attention. Unbeknownst to the galaxy, the dark strings of the Sith are being pulled behind the scenes, ready to shape the fate of the countless worlds. Elsewhere on the volcanic world of Mustafar, Anakin Skywalker, now Darth Vader, embarks on a grim mission. Betrayed by his own turmoil and seduced by the promises of the dark side, he descends upon the separatist leaders. The fiery rivers of lava stand as a silent witness to the massacre he is about to unleash, a step towards extinguishing the flames of the Clone Wars, orchestrated by hidden hands. Meanwhile, chaos reigns among the Jedi. Order 66, a treacherous command encoded with the clone troopers, has been executed. Across the galaxy, Jedi fall. Betrayed by those they once led into battle, the hallowed halls of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant bear the scars of betrayal, and the survivors find themselves hunted, grappling with the shattering of their order and the unraveling of the Republic they swore to protect. In the wake of Count Dooku's demise, a shadow of his influence lingers, a masterstroke from beyond the grave. Dooku, a tactician per excellence, had long anticipated the possibility of betrayal by his master, Darth Sidious. In the Sith tradition of treachery and power, he knew his position as the apprentice was perilous, and the rise of Anakin Skywalker only solidified his suspicions. Before his fateful confrontation with Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Dooku had set in motion a contingency plan, a final act of defiance should he meet his untimely end. This plan was born not out of just personal vengeance against Sidious, but from a deeper, more calculative motive. Dooku, disillusioned with the corruption festering in the Republic and the Senate, intended to strike the crippling blow to the heart of this decay. The instrument of his retribution was unassuming, a droid meticulously modified and planted within the Senate building. To the untrained eye, it was just another service droid, one among many that maintained the day-to-day operations. But hidden within its circuits was a devastating weapon, a bomb engineered to cause catastrophic destruction. The droid's activation was tied to a singular condition, Dooku's life signs. It was a failsafe, ensuring that his plan would only unfold if he were no longer alive to enact his own designs of power. In the aftermath of his death, as the galaxy remained unaware, the droid silently received the signal. It was time. Count Dooku's final gambit was set into motion, a last testament to his strategic acumen and his profound disillusionment with the system he once served. As the galaxy fixates on Palpatine's impending speech and the chaos brought by Order 66, none are aware of the impending doom. Silently ticking away within the walls of the Senate, a legacy of betrayal, revenge, and a twisted sense of justice from the fallen Count of Sereno. Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, his face a mask of solemn authority, rises to deliver his address. Senators from across the galaxy, their faces reflecting a mixture of emotions, watched carefully. Among them is Senator Padme Amidala, her expression one of apprehensive concern. Palpatine begins to speak, his voice resonating throughout the chamber. He talks of the Clone Wars, of sacrifice, and of the need for a new order to ensure peace and stability. As he skillfully weaves his narrative, positioning himself as the savior of the Republic, he subtly hints at the restructuring of the government. The creation of the First Galactic Empire is on the verge of being announced. But fate, guided by the hand of Count Dooku from beyond the grave, has other plans. Unnoticed in the shadows, the droid carrying Dooku's final retribution silently activates. The bomb, a masterpiece of destruction, is primed. In a blinding flash, the chamber erupts into chaos. The explosions, devastating and precise, tears through the Senate chamber. The shockwave is monstrous, shattering the grandeur of the room, engulfing senators, guards, and bystanders alike. Palpatine, mid-sentence, is consumed by the inferno, his reign and manipulation ending in a split second. In the pandemonium, Senator Amidala is thrown back by the force of the blast. Shrapnel and debris rain down, and she is gravely injured, her life hanging by a thread. The once hallowed chamber is now a scene of apocalyptic ruin, smoke billowing and fires raging. As emergency service swarm the site, Amidala is hastily located and rushed for immediate medical attention. Her condition is critical, and amidst the turmoil, the medical team faces a daunting task. Amidala is pregnant, and the lives of her unborn children hang in the balance. The doctors, amidst the chaos of the galaxy suddenly untethered, work frantically to save them, their efforts a beacon of hope in a moment of profound darkness. The assassination of Palpatine and the catastrophic loss of the Senate's leadership sends shockwaves throughout the galaxy. The Republic, already on unstable ground, finds itself leaderless and in disarray. In these desperate moments, the future of the galaxy, once seemingly set on a path of dictatorship, is abruptly thrust into uncertainty. On the hellish landscape of Mustafar, surrounded by the rivers of molten lava and the smoldering remains of the separatist leaders, Anakin Skywalker stands, his breathing heavy. The deed is done, his transition to Darth Vader seemingly sealed with each life he has taken. But as he prepares to leave, a sudden, overwhelming disturbance in the Force grips him. It's as if voices had suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Anakin feels the shockwave through the Force, a mixture of pain, fear, and confusion. But what shakes him to his core is the abrupt absence of two presences he's grown so familiar with: Chancellor Palpatine, his mentor, and more distressingly, a significant disturbance surrounding Padme. His heart races, panic setting in. The newfound allegiance to Palpatine, the promises of power and saving his beloved from death all seem inconsequential now. The only thought that consumed him is Padme's safety. He reaches out through the Force, trying desperately to sense her, but the chaos muddles his perception. Anakin rushes to his ship, his mind in turmoil. The dark cloak of Darth Vader flutters behind him as he abandons the burning world of Mustafar. As he ascends into space, heading towards Coruscant, 1,000 scenarios play out in his mind. The fear of losing Padme, the fear that led him down this dark path, is now more real than ever. His ship tears through hyperspace, each passing moment an agonizing eternity. Anakin's transformation into Vader is paused, his identity crisis deepening. The dark, powerful Sith Lord he was becoming is now overshadowed by the desperate, terrified husband fearing the worst. As he approaches Coruscant, the smoldering remains of the Senate building come into view, a stark testament to the catastrophe that had befallen the heart of the Republic. His ship lands amidst the chaos, emergency service still scrambling, and the smell of smoke and destruction filling the air. Anakin disembarks, his eyes scanning the pandemonium, his heart pounding. He pushes his way through, the authority of his presence parting the crowd, his singular focus to find Padme, to know if she's alive or if his worst fears have been realized. The once ensured and powerful Anakin Skywalker, now a mosaic of conflict and desperation, finds himself at a crossroads. The future, once manipulated and seemingly certain, is now expanse of his unknowns, his destiny more uncertain than ever. The corridors of the medical facility are blurred to Anakin as he rushes through, his every step fueled by a mix of hope and dread. He finally arrives at the operation room where Padme is being treated. The medical droids are in a flurry of activity, their mechanical precision a stark contrast to the emotional turmoil Anakin feels. He is informed that his children, a boy and a girl, have been safely delivered, a glimmer of hope in the midst of despair. But this news is quickly overshadowed by a much graver revelation. Padme is dying. Despite the droid's best efforts, her injuries from the explosion are too severe, her life slipping away. Anakin is allowed into the room, the sterile environment feeling like a world away from the chaos outside. There, amidst the medical equipment and the soft beeping of life support machines, lies Padme, frail and fading, yet holding on with the last of her strength. As Anakin approaches, their eyes meet. There is so much he wants to say, so many apologies and promises, but words fail him. The enormity of the situation, the cascade of choices that led him to this moment weighs heavily on him. Padme, with a weak but tender smile, reaches out to him. Her touch, faint as it is, sends a surge of emotion through Anakin. In her eyes, he sees not blame or anger, but enduring love, a silent understanding that transcends the turmoil surrounding them. In these final moments, Padme musters the strength to speak, her voice barely a whisper. Anakin, take care of our children. They are our hope. Her words are a plea, a final wish from a dying mother. Anakin, tears streaming down his face, nods, a silent vow made amidst heartbreak. I love you, Padme. I'm so sorry. He manages to say, his voice choked with emotion. Padme's eyes conveyed a depth of forgiveness and sorrow, and with a final, labored breath, she whispers, I love you too, Anakin. And then, as if in a peaceful surrender, she slips away, her hand going limp in his. The loss is overwhelming, a crushing blow to Anakin, his mother, his mentor, and now Padme. gone. He is enveloped in a shroud of grief, his heart torn between the dark path he had started down and the flickering light of his newborn children. As Anakin stands there, holding the hand of his beloved, now gone, the galaxy seems to shift around him. He is at a crossroads, torn between the dark and the light, between vengeance and protection, between the remnants of Anakin Skywalker and the shadow of Darth Vader. In this moment of profound loss and uncertainty, the future of the galaxy and the destiny of Anakin Skywalker hang in a delicate, precious balance.